Alright, let me start with a bold claim. You speak English every single day. You order coffee, you talk in meetings, you argue with your friends about movies. But I am willing to bet that there is at least one word on the list we're about to go through that you have been saying wrong your entire life. Yes, you. And it's not your fault. English is a chaotic, beautiful, and often nonsensical language. It's full of silent letters, borrowed words, and pronunciation rules that seem designed to trip us up. Today, we're going on a fun linguistic journey to explore 15 of the most commonly and often hilariously mispronounced words in American English. This isn't about being a grammar snob. It's about a shared love for our weird language and finally settling some old debates. Let's get started. Before we dive in, let's be clear. This is a judgment-free zone. Accents are a beautiful part of language diversity. We're not talking about regional accents today. We're talking about those specific, common mispronunciations that become linguistic pet peeves, the verbal equivalent of nails on a chalkboard for some people. We'll explore words that have silent letters that aren't so silent, extra syllables that sneak their way in, and a few famous words that even presidents and news anchors have stumbled over. We'll look at the common mistake, the correct pronunciation according to the dictionary, and maybe even touch on why these words are so tricky. My goal is for you to leave this video with a few aha moments and maybe a new favorite word to be pedantic about with your friends. Alright, are you ready for our pronunciation audit? Let's begin with a word that has plagued the highest office in the land. 1. Nuclear. The common mistake, famously made by more than one US president, is adding an extra U sound, making it nuclear. But, of course, as you can see from the spelling, there is no U there. The correct pronunciation is nuclear, nuclear. It has 2 syllables after the nuke, not 3. Why is nuclear so common? Some linguists think it's a process called metathesis, where sounds get swapped around in the brain. Whatever the reason, it's a classic. 2. Espresso. This next one you'll hear butchered at coffee shops across the country. There is no X in the word espresso. It is not espresso. It's a shot of coffee, not a former relationship. The correct pronunciation is espresso. The S is right there at the beginning. Let's make a pact, right now, to save baristas from the daily pain of hearing espresso. 3. Jewelry. This word is a victim of what linguists call syllable deletion or syncope. It's spelled with 3 or even 4 syllables. Jewelry. But in natural spoken American English, we almost always crush it down to 2. The common, natural pronunciation is jewelry. Saying jewelry sounds very unnatural and stilted. So, if you're a 3-syllable person, it's time to let one go. 4. Mischievous. This is my personal pet peeve. So many people add a phantom I in the middle and a phantom syllable at the end, making it mischievous. There is no I after the V. The word has 3 syllables, not 4, and the stress is on the first one. The correct pronunciation is mischievous. Remember, a mischievous person causes mischief, not mischief. 5. Sherbet. Let's head to the ice cream parlor for our next crime against pronunciation. There is only one R in the word sherbet. But for some reason, millions of us have collectively decided to add a second one, making it sherbet. The correct pronunciation is sherbet. Let's leave poor Bert out of our delicious frozen dessert. 6. Caramel. Alright, it's time for one of the great American pronunciation debates. Is it 2 syllables or 3? Are you on Team Car-mel? Or are you on Team Caramel? This is a case where regional dialects play a huge role. While the 3-syllable caramel is arguably more faithful to the spelling, the 2-syllable Car-mel is extremely common, especially in the Midwest and West. The dictionary accepts both, but be warned, people have very strong feelings about this one. 7. Often. Here's another debate. Is the T often silent? Historically, the T was pronounced. But for hundreds of years, it has been silent in Standard English. The most common and accepted pronunciation is ofn. However, a trend has emerged where people have started reintroducing the T sound, making it of 10, perhaps thinking it sounds more correct or formal. While both are now heard, ofn with a silent T is still considered the more traditional standard. 8. GIF. Let's enter the internet's longest and most pointless war. Is it GIF with a hard G like gift? Or GIF with a soft G like the peanut butter? The creator of the format, Steve Wilhite, famously declared it to be GIF. However, the G in GIF stands for graphics, which has a hard G. This is a battle where logic and creator intent are at war, and it will probably never end. For what it's worth, I'm team hard G. Let the arguments in the comments begin. 9. Library. This is another case of a disappearing syllable, similar to jewelry. Many of us, in the rush of everyday speech, drop the first R sound, making it library. While it's a very common feature of relaxed speech, the full, correct pronunciation is library. It's a good one to practice saying slowly to get the full sound back into your muscle memory. 10. Arctic. This word has a silent letter that people often try to make not so silent. They forget the first C. The mistake is pronouncing it Arctic. That first C, after the R, is not silent. You have to make that hard K sound. The correct pronunciation is Arctic. Arctic. Think of an electric arc. It's the Arctic, not the Arctic. 11. Supposedly this one is a common slip-up where people swap one word for a word that doesn't really exist. The mistake is saying supposedly. The correct word and the correct pronunciation is supposedly.
Supposedly.
It comes from the word supposed. So, next time you hear someone say supposedly, you have my permission to be a little bit of a grammar snob. 12. Ask a simple word, but a common point of contention. The mispronunciation is swapping the S and the K sounds, making it ax. This has deep linguistic roots and is a feature of certain dialects, but in standard American English, the correct pronunciation is, of course, ask. It's a simple one, but it's a difference that people definitely notice. 13. Bruschetta. Let's take a trip to Italy, where so many of our food words get mangled. Because we're used to the English CH sound like in church, many people pronounce this delicious appetizer as bruschetta. But in Italian, the CH combination makes a hard K sound. The correct and much more authentic pronunciation is bruschetta. Bruschetta. 14. Wednesday. This is a classic for a reason. While most of us don't say the D and pronounce it Wednesday, in the flow of conversation, we often crush it even further into just 2 syllables, making it Wednesday. The dictionary pronunciation is technically 3 syllables, Wednesday. But in reality, almost everyone in America says Wednesday. It's a perfect example of how conversational pronunciation evolves away from the textbook spelling. 15. Forte. Our final word is a tricky one borrowed from French and Italian. It means a person's strong point. Is it 1 syllable, fort, or 2 syllables, forte? The original French is 1 syllable. The Italian, used in music, is 2. In American English, both are now widely used and accepted. However, many pronunciation experts and dictionaries still argue that the 1-syllable fort is the more traditionally correct pronunciation when referring to a personal strength. So, after going through that list, you might be asking yourself, why is English pronunciation so chaotic? The truth is, English isn't really one language, it's a loanword buffet. It's a Germanic language that was hijacked by French and then spent centuries borrowing words from Latin, Greek, and nearly every other language on Earth. Each group of loanwords brought its own weird spelling and pronunciation rules with it. On top of that, between the 1400s and 1700s, English went through a massive change called the Great Vowel Shift, where the pronunciation of all its long vowels changed dramatically, but the spelling largely stayed the same. This is why words like goose and choose rhyme, but goose and loose don't look like they should. The result is a beautiful, expressive, but often illogical language. So, if you get it wrong sometimes, you're in good company. It's a language with a very complicated past. Alright, that was our tour of 15 of the most fascinating and frustrating words in American English. From the presidential nuclear to the great Car-mel debate, we've seen how messy and fun our language can be. Our top 3 most controversial words today were definitely GIF, Car-mel, and the silent T in often. But this list was just my own collection of linguistic pet peeves. Now, I want to hear from you. This is where it gets fun. What is the one word you hear mispronounced that absolutely drives you crazy? Let's build the ultimate pronunciation pet peeve list right down there in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see what words get under your skin. If you enjoyed this linguistic deep dive and want more content that explores the weird and wonderful quirks of the English language, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Thank you so much for nerding out with me today. Go out there, listen carefully, and be kind, unless, of course, you hear someone order an espresso. Then you have my permission to politely educate them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.